No, just
in life.
In life. You know, you want $1 million. $1 million is $20K a week, $3,000 a day.
Yeah.
You're not making $3,000 a day. You need to do better tomorrow.
Right.
And it's really that simple.
This is another episode of Execution Season with Robert E. Woods III and StorykingBrent. Let's chop it up.
The clips you said you had like 50 clips?
Yeah. I just haven't distributed them yet. Oh yeah.
We back.
Cool.
What are you waiting on?
Bro, like I think the main thing is like the actual product or service campaign of my like whatever I'm doing, you know what I mean? But like you said last time, it's like there's really no point.
This is execution season, bro. We gotta hold each other accountable.
That's true.
What we waiting on?
There was another thing too, bro. Like, all right, so what I did was I made like 4 clips of each podcast episode. And so I was like, damn, is this redundant? You know what I'm saying? If I have 4 clips of the same like topic basically.
Yeah.
But so I think from here out, I guess from here, like today, I'm gonna make sure I post like what so this is a thing with me, like the amount of times I post, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make sure I wanna post once a day.
Okay.
Either a story or on the reel or whatever. But that's just something that I wanna, like, that's one of the execution pieces that I need to make true, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. Because really, whose standard are you holding to if it's too many times? I mean, I don't follow like news outlets, but if you go on CNN or the Shade Room or any of these blogs, they post 15 or 20 times a day.
Yeah.
Why not?
Sometimes it's the same damn thing too.
Yeah. Don't let something be trending. You know, I follow like Complex Music and all that. They're constantly updating. I mean, you are a resource. You giving out knowledge, you giving out inspiration, or you just delivering content, telling people what's going on. So why not, man? If you post enough of these reels, Instagram pays you. Instagram paid me $200.
What?
Yeah, bro. for the reels. They invite you to like a creator program or something like that, and you have to sign up for the bonus. And if you meet a certain quota, maybe they tell you the quota. I didn't read the fine print, but if you meet like over a $70 threshold or something like that, they'll cash you out.
That's lit.
So I mean, you know, $200 is not making me do anything crazy.
Right.
But it's solid. You know?
That's amazing.
For
bro.
posting.
Right.
And then I haven't been diligent with the TikTok thing, but you know, TikTok is even crazier. So.
Yeah. The virality there is crazy.
Yeah. It was really that Kevin Hart reel. That Kevin Hart reel got like 30,000 views. I don't know why, but you know, it just, you know, you never really can anticipate what is gonna catch and what's not. But that seems to be the one that highlighted them to invite me to whatever creator program it is. Because I was telling my boy who runs Spuds, I was telling him to do it, and he was just like, "Oh, he doesn't have any notification like that." Mind you, his account has thousands. It's like 20 or 30K followers, but I guess they don't give it to you if you're not getting a lot of views on the reels. I'm not really sure what the criteria is. The moral of the story is just get the content out, man.
Get that content out. Yeah.
And if you think it's predicated on having an offer or having a product or service, make a product or service.
Yeah. That's
little ebook or something. You can cut that up real quick. You real nice with that, bro.
Bro, that's the thing, bro. Like
the people need it. They need
the next piece.
They need the knowledge you have. The knowledge you dropped on, I think that was episode 2 when we were at the WeWork. I think to date that's the most fulfilling information that this platform has produced.
Yeah.
So people need that info, man.
You're right, bro. You're right. Yeah, I mean, speaking of like the new stuff, you know, for my job, I'm on the path to. When we were talking to Chris about, he's a creative director. It's crazy, but I'm on the path to. My goal is to be a creative director in marketing, but for like SaaS products eventually. But right now, they transitioned my role into being from customer success to being a content marketing manager.
Okay.
So I'll be leading the podcast.
One second, bro.
Yo, Chris knows all about this. I feel like it would give me a lot of mobility from a marketer's perspective. Because I could go to any business and say, okay, this is the content plan or structure you could have to make your thing work properly. But especially working in the SaaS space, you know that bro, those multiples are crazy. 20x. So if it's 20 times the EBITDA, if I'm helping a company get there, I feel like that would definitely put me in the right position to.
So for the people who don't know the terminologies you just used, SaaS, EBITDA, break that down. What is that exactly?
Yeah, SaaS is basically software as a service. It's a business that uses technology in order to scale a product or service. And then EBITDA is earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation, and amortization, which basically means profit. But essentially, a tech company, is really focused on EBITDA, and for a tech company, it's usually 20 times EBITDA is the valuation, and that's really what helps companies make their money at the end of the day. And so that's really what I want to get to.
So,
Yep. So said it. Thank you. But yeah, man, that's really what I really want to focus on. Because when it comes to business, I think everything can be productized, almost everything, you know. And I think from there, that's where I want to just be the person that that just tells people how to make their product more valuable. Because I feel like as people, we all have our own set of values. And our skills have value, but like I just want people to be empowered to know that their skill can be valued, like increased value through marketing though, mainly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you've really perfected.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying that the name of your new ebook is how to increase your value through marketing, and it's going to be on sale for $47. Hey, Stephon?
That's good.
I think we just what's up, bro? You are the product. You got it. Execution season.
That's
there
good.
We go.
What's going on, y'all? So the book is titled Intrinsic Value. Opportunities come to those who know their worth and options. DM me to let me know if you'd like the first sneak peek at the book when it's available. The book is coming soon. Intrinsic Value is coming soon. Let's get back to the episode.
How about, I have a friend who purchases SaaS businesses. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sends me random messages all of the time. I actually met him through a friend. I've never met him in person, but you know, we bonded over just conversations and sharing articles and things of that nature. And he's really dedicated to purchasing businesses, which is something that I know that you're very interested in as well. So I would encourage you to maybe use some of the principles and the knowledge that you have from your other purchasing, whatever it was that you explained. I forgot the name of it. But yeah, use some of those and maybe possibly go into promoting or purchasing a SaaS business. That was just a tangent though.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
Gotta get those
Environment,
Rolls
bro.
Royces, bro.
Right.
You know?
Right. Environment, networking. Like,
Yes.
But I think the serendipity of that is just a beautiful thing. Like we were talking about this, and then Chris is like, I'm a creative director.
Yeah, man. So I no longer even believe
It's
in
insane.
coincidences, because when you're aligned on the right path, there's no such thing as a coincidence, because everything on earth is working in your favor to get you what you want, because you've you've declared what you want. So everything is working in its power to get it to you. Now, whether you take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you is another story. But if you say you want something and you truly believe it and you truly do desire it, I think God is going to put a way to make it happen for you. You know, now the power is in your hands. You know?
Right. So if you truly believe it, I think that's
it's basically saying, okay, you say you want it, here it is. How bad do you really want it?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I was in a factory, and the reason that this is what solidified it for me. This just happened this past weekend. So I was DJing at the factory. I have a friend who comes in. He's a lawyer. We chop it up all the time. And he casually asked me, because his father is from London. He was like, "You ever play any London grime in here?" And I was like, "Not really, but there was this guy in the summertime. Mind you, it's November right now. I was like, there was this guy in the summertime. He was from London. His girlfriend lives out here. And every time he would come in, I would play some gigs, or I would play some you know, some London just to get him hyped,
yeah.
some Skepta, because you know, it was lit. But I'm like, yeah, he doesn't come here. He's back in London. You know, he doesn't live over here or whatnot. But that's kind of the only time I played Grind. I can't make this up, bro. 30 minutes later, he walks in. He doesn't live in America, bro. His girlfriend does. He's like, oh yeah, I'm back in town. He's like, y'all have some sort of holiday during this time. So my girlfriend said, come. I said, bro, I was just talking to you. I was just talking about you 30 minutes ago. And it was so unreal that it seemed like I was in a Truman Show or something. It's like somebody was almost playing a prank on me, but I was like, you know what? That's how much power my words have. That's how much power my thoughts have.
Right.
Is that I'm just a line, bro. I'm just a line. I was on a webinar last night. Mind you, there's no face, there's no nothing. It's just you typing in the chat if you agree with the person. The moderator used my name as an example for a person who flies first class. They was like, yeah, so we're all on the plane, right? And everybody's in economy, but Brent and such is in first class. I'm like, of course I am. Yes, I'm in first class. That's right. He doesn't know me from a name in a hat, but that's just the energy and the ambiance that's permeating through every aspect of myself. And I'm starting to just accept that. Right. Like, yeah, that's right. I am the person that's in first class. Y'all listen to this example, you know? Right. And even if it's not true now, it's me preparing myself for it to be true. Exactly. Or it's me working towards having the steps to make that become true and make that become reality. That's what we on, bro. We're on the right path, man. We aligned.
I think so, man. I think that's really what this is all about. Because we still haven't seen a show where people actually talk about real life in different locations every single time. I think the trajectory of that is kind of, it could be really beautiful, man. But the last time we linked, we spoke about the Tamar thing, and you basically just running around the world doing these things. What's happening?
Working on another event. It's not confirmed yet, but I'm trying to turn, so I won't say the guest that I'm booking because the contract isn't signed, but right now I'm looking into booking larger, much larger names and just fronting the money and kind of throwing my own concerts and using Climax, the brand that I've cultivated as my DJing for the open format brand, into more of a concert series or a tour series, you know, just booking larger DJs and being on the bill with them, you know? So just kind of turning myself into a headliner. Yes. You know? So that's what's new on that front. For Immaculate Travel, we're still going through, I successfully booked a trip, and there was some mishaps about who was supposed to fly first class and speaking of first class, who was supposed to fly first class and who wasn't. And that's all, you know, I put a lot of salute to, you know, the vendor, because they're really patient and as I grow this business, you know. So that's going well too. Thanks a lot. And what else is going on with me? Thank you, I appreciate that, you know. How you fruit, you know? And probably the most exciting thing, I appreciate it, going into 2023 is the relationship I've established with my accountant. So I have an accountant now, man.
Yes, sir.
And my accountant is making sure that everything via my LLC and the way I'm gonna prepare my taxes is going very crisp, man. He's really thorough. And I actually met him in the barbershop. And meeting my accountant in the barbershop, because I love to get my hair cut every couple days, he actually had on a Neo Davis hoodie. He had on the rapper, athlete, entrepreneur. You know that sweatshirt where it's crossed out?
Yeah.
And
Neo, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Neo Davis.
Yeah.
So he had on that hoodie in the barbershop. Mind you, I live in a Dominican neighborhood. There's not too many black people. I'm not even really sure he's like fully black. I don't know. But that's besides the point. He had the hoodie on. The fact that he had that hoodie on, I wanted to have a conversation with him. Because it's that interaction that proved to me how powerful merch can be. Merch is a community builder, because I knew that if he had the dedication to purchase a Neo Davis hoodie, that means he's consumed so much of the content and he embodies what everything that Neo stands for. So he purchased that hoodie as a testament that, like, look, I embody these principles. It's something I agree with as well. And the fact that I had that thought process about him, that's somebody I want to talk to. If you have a Neo Davis hoodie on and you co-sign everything he's about, I want to get to know you. I didn't know this guy from Mechanic Paint, but I was just like, look, you know, what's your name? What you into?
Yeah.
And we took that 20-minute so we talked for 20 minutes off the strength of a hoodie. This is the power of merch. This is the power of building community.
Okay.
And I was like, look, we should talk more in depth. We ended up meeting at a coffee shop, talked for about 2 hours. I didn't plan on, you know, him becoming my accountant or anything of that nature, but through our conversations, we arrived at mutual points where we thought we could be assets to each other. And the reason I'm telling this whole story is that that's the power of building a community. And a community can start as small as one person, can start as small as a hoodie. You know, this is what brings people together. So when I get these hoodies and merchandise off the ground, it's about, you know, branding myself, but it's also about aligning people who directly co-sign what I stand for, because that's what you do when you put on a brand and you wear a brand on your chest. You actually rock with what they stand for, so much so that you're willing to be a walking billboard for them. Like, I got on a Factory 380 t-shirt. This is where I DJ at every weekend, and I have, like, this is my spot, so I feel comfortable wearing the spot. You know, he felt comfortable with Neo's principles, so he felt comfortable wearing the hoodie. When people wear my hoodie, I want them to feel comfortable about everything I stand for. It really opened my mind up to something as small as a brand on a t-shirt or a hoodie. I was like, you know, that does have power. I used to brush it off because everybody was asking me for that type of stuff already, but I thought it was kind of cheesy. Yeah, man, I don't have any merch or anything. I'm not that vain. I always say that. It's just like, I don't need a shirt with a StorykingBrent on it, but, you know, it's more than that. It's about the environment. So I thought that was important.
That's very dope, man. You know, it's interesting. Everybody has their own execution plan too, and I like the fact that when you talk about launching something, you usually mention it as a launch. You mention it as a launch, not like you're just putting something out. You usually say, yeah, I'm gonna have a launch party, or I'm dropping it on this date. So there's usually a specific plan to that. Because some people are like, I'm gonna write a book and put it on Amazon, and that's their only plan, to really just write a book, and that's fine too. But could you talk about, like, how you develop the mindset for your launch plans? Because I'm hype about these hoodies already. So, like,
yeah. So I attribute a lot of that to changing the content that I listen to and watch on a daily basis. So, you know, I'm all about Social Proof podcasts. More so, I do a little bit of Earn Your Leisure, but really David's channel is what I really take in the most. Aside from other things that kind of come up on my YouTube suggested page, Myron Golden is another person I listen to. But there's a specific cat that specializes in launch, and I can't remember his name. I'm gonna put it on the screen though. He always has the red glasses, and he focuses on launches specifically. He's the person that kind of shed light on something that I was already doing, like you said, but warming people up to accept what you have to offer is much better than just shoving it in their face. You know, you always want to warm people up, and that's in all aspects of life. If you just meet somebody, you shouldn't just ask for something on top. You want to establish genuine relationships with the person, male or opposite sex. You know, even sex. You know, you don't just dive in. You know what I'm saying? You gotta warm it up. You gotta do a little, you know, foreplay before you climax. You know what I'm saying? So it's all the same concept, man. You gotta prepare people for what you want to give them, because believe it or not, everybody's not living in your world. You know, it might make sense to you to just throw something at the table and everybody accept it, but everybody is not thinking about you 24/7. You just throw something out and you're like, what's this? I don't even know what this is. So, but if it's always in somebody's face, that gives them more of a reason to drill it in their head. It's always, I'll run into it, like I'll post a flyer, I'm DJing somewhere, And somebody will text me and be like, yeah, you still DJing at the place? What time does it start? What's the address?
It's the
I'm
flyer.
like, you know I'm DJing there, so you saw that from a flyer. So go to the flyer for the info. Like, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
But you have to remember, they don't have as much invested in it as you, so they're not using brain power to think like, oh, I could just go look at the flyer. It's like, oh, I'm talking to you right now. Let me just waste your time, you know? But yeah, man, it's just knowing that you're not the center of attention. You are the main character in your movie,
Right.
but you're not the main character in everybody else's movie, man. They got their own lives. So.
That's interesting, and I think that's how we start to find the people in our tribe or that are supposed to be magnetized toward us because we have similar interests.
Right.
You know, it just so happens that all three of us are in marketing in a way. You know what I'm saying? He's deep into marketing. I feel like at the beginning of like a marketing career, I guess. And I've always considered you a marketer, you know, because you're,
Thank you, bro.
career in
Yeah, man. I majored in marketing at Howard.
Right.
You know, so that's always something that I was specific on. But yeah.
And so when it comes to storytelling too, like, has that always been a strength?
You know, I've always found it to be important to make sure that the entire narrative of something is told. I mean, I've always had a childlike, I've loved to read ever since I was a child. You know, I got the award for most accelerated reader points in grade school, where I was student council president, by the way, you know. But yeah, I've always loved to read, and I just think taking in the entirety of a story and realizing all of the parts of the story, from the intro to the build up to the climax to the you come down and then the resolution at the end is you have to make sure everybody has the entire picture of what's going on, so they don't make their own assumptions. Because I don't like for people to make assumptions about me. It's usually wrong because I'm complex in different ways. But yeah, I want to just make sure I control my own narrative. I've always thought that was important.
That's dope. That's dope, bro.
What about you?
What you mean?
Is that important to you? Storytelling?
Oh, storytelling? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I've always been the best at it though, but I think it's always been important, especially when it comes to. I've always loved the underdog stories, and I think I've always considered myself one. But then over time, I've been like, okay, wait a second, I'm not. I don't think I'm an underdog anymore.
You're not, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like having that mentality still helps me to push forward with this. The tenacity of a person that's not really winning, but I feel like it keeps you hungry. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, but I love the early story to the success thing. You know, like we made episode 1, but episode 50 might be on some crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be in Italy somewhere.
You know, because we're gonna have guests, we're gonna have different things, but I think that story arc, that's what I like.
Yeah.
Thinking about, oh shit, what are they gonna be? Because I have this thing like in my mind, like you never know who somebody is gonna be.
It's true.
Nobody knows who you're gonna be, and I think for that reason, everybody should act with like the utmost level of kindness, I would say. Because if you're a jerk to somebody that's eventually a boss, then that can mess you up.
Just being from Howard, we know that firsthand. I mean, the people I knew as a freshman, we're all doing such incredible things now. I just had one of my boys from freshman year was on Shark Tank.
Right. Oh.
2 days ago, on Shark Tank, pitching to the Sharks, and he got a deal. Right. So, you know, him and his brother, shout outs to Johnny Bravo and Trey, their product Ride Fresh, which I featured in a few of my vlogs, made it all the way to Shark Tank, and they've been trying to get on there for the past 4 years, and they finally got through. And just the statistics of getting on Shark Tank, I think it's harder to get on there than it is to get into Harvard, even though we don't really care about Harvard. We care about Howard University, the real HU, Black Mecca. the zenith of education in America. Just want to make that clear. But yeah, they were on Shark Tank and they did a brilliant job of getting their product across. Knowing that most impressive to me is that they were not on there shucking and jiving, bro. They were using Ebonics, African American vernacular. They were lax, Donnie had his braids, everything was good. It's just like, wow, these two guys are unapologetically at the top of their craft, presenting on a top entrepreneurship platform in the country, in the world, really, because everybody watches them, and they secured a deal, man. And they were really comfortable up there. They were making jokes about Mark. Mark Cuban got real offended and said he's not in there, but they didn't let that rattle him. They kept going to the end. One of the sharks who was most interested in, I think her name is either Barbara or Caroline, I'm not sure, but she made a counter offer. Donnie made another counter offer against that, which he ended up taking. I'm just like, wow, this is what Hope was talking about. This is how you move in a room full of vultures, bro.
Right.
So I was just super proud of them, and that just goes to your point. When me and Donnie were first cool at Howard, I was a music producer. He was a rapper.
Yeah.
You just got two kids, one from Detroit, one from Chicago, Midwest. Shout out to the Midwest. Who would have known years later that this guy would be on Shark Tank? Come on, man. You never know who anybody's gonna be.
Right.
So salute to them.
Salute. Because they've been on the entrepreneurial grind in general for a long time. I think at least a decade or more.
Yep. Because before they did Rod Fresh, he had those Weemojis, and that was before iPhone had the black emojis.
Yes.
They had the black emojis. So yeah, shout outs to them.
Yeah, man.
And that's just tip of the iceberg. I could tell a story like that 30, 40 more times. It's just so many amazing people that we're blessed to know in our network.
Right.
And you never know. You never know who's gonna be who.
Right. And I think that's the importance of just moving forward in your story, your journey, because you can't just focus on what somebody else's story is looking like. Damn, they're winning right now. It's like, nah, like that means that your turn is next. Like there are other pages to flip in this entire thing.
100%. Like seeing them on Shark Tank solidified for me. Not that I still code switch because thankfully I've been out of the Wall Street thing for a couple years now, but I'll never code switch again. These dudes was just on Shark Tank getting $1 million valuations. Doing them. Talking about they got the flyest product in the world. Like the flyest, you talking to people worth hundreds of millions and billions of dollars and you using this type of terminology. I'm comfortable everywhere, bro. I'm comfortable,
That's real.
Yeah. You good.
Yeah.
I just did I DJ'd a gala for 800 people at Chelsea Pier earlier last week. And when I was getting dressed and stuff, I'm like, man, should I still have on my rings and my shades and everything? And I'm just like, yeah, they booked StorykingBrent. That's what we get, So of course.
Right. They know what they get, yeah.
Exactly, and I rocked it, and they're gonna bring me back next year, and it was a good time. But yeah, never shrinking in a room, and I got that from Terrence Lowe, who owns Michael Lavelle Wines. He did a talk with Vistaprint, and he dropped that gem, and I was like, you know what, that was incredible. You want to be in rooms, that don't encourage you to shrink; they encourage you to grow, and we should never shrink to the occasion because, we're the type of people that can impact the room when you walk in, so we should never shy away from that for anybody else's comfort.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, like there was a period of my life where I was accused of being arrogant, right? And I thought that was such an offense, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, damn, maybe I shouldn't be like cocky, arrogant, too confident. And it really shifted my perspective of myself. But recently though, I've been like, F that, in terms of shrinking yourself to make someone else feel comfortable.
Right.
Just because they might, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense,
I think a lot of the times that's just somebody else's projecting their insecurity on you because you're confident in your abilities and what you bring to the table. Now, it's a difference if you being a jerk, like,
exactly.
Oh yeah, I do this, that, and the third. But it's just, if you're just stating facts, like Ye said, I state the facts to stunt. That's it. That's really it.
State the facts to stunt.
Yeah, bro. And we rocking with Ye forever, so
100%.
we just gonna leave it there.
100%.
But yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Anything else on that for us to talk
A
about?
lot of great things. One second. There was one thing.
I'm trying to think.
Oh. Yeah, man. Yeah, there was one business thing that I was thinking of, just moving forward with, which is basically, we were talking about the recruiting business before, but what I'm thinking is basically having a boot camp for people and essentially helping them upskill or up level themselves, and then, essentially giving them to the employer or whatever, or introducing them to the employer. So it's recruiting, but it's really like a educational piece on top of it. Because I feel like with those high value skills like quantitative finance or software engineering, you can help them get that education, and then because companies don't want to like take a risk on somebody that doesn't have experience a lot of times. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. And so I need basically a consultant to teach a student, of course, and then a client. And so I do have somebody that does want to teach to do the consultancy piece, because all they have to do is record videos and then answer questions live once a week or something like that. And then for the first program, and then I really need a client. So that's really what I'm aiming for now. But that's another thing I think that could be really dope. But
That sounds great.
yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
How somebody told me about the 72-hour method. Shout out to my boy Brandon. He was just saying, you had this idea.
Yeah.
What can you do within the next 72 hours to help you get it accomplished?
Yeah, so 72 hours, back to one of the things we spoke to last time, was like outreach, just a whole lot of outreach to the people that, to potential clients, but also with the consultant that I'm speaking to, hopefully today or tomorrow, he'll be able to introduce me to someone who might be interested in being a client, because he's been in Wall Street for a while. But I think more iterations of that would be the goal. It might not be 100 outreaches per day yet, but I think like the closer I can get to like 100 outreach messages, that would get me closer to the goal of finding a client, finding a student, and really making the transaction happen. But I do think I'm like maybe a month away, maybe a month or so away from it.
Oh, that's great.
But that's just
Make it. Man, I know you gonna make it happen.
We gonna execute.
I know you gonna make it happen. That's a great idea, bro. I like it a lot.
What about you? Anything else?
Man, yeah. So just as recent as 48 hours ago, my mentee, I've talked about him before. Shout out to Malik. He came to me for an idea to, do third-party distribution on Amazon, basically running an Amazon store. And I said, I love it. Just put the play together, I'll finance it. My man's had to play to me the next night. I was like, what? All right, cool. So even as of right before filming this, he sent me an invoice to be fulfilled. And we're gonna move forward with that. I'm gonna cut him a nice deal because I want him to run with it. I don't really want to touch it. But as long as I get my money back and I get a percentage, I'm gonna let him go ahead and cake off of it and just use it as passive income. But I'm really looking forward to what he has planned, for this Amazon store, because he's really smart, really bright. He's going into investment banking, and I have full confidence in his abilities to go ahead and run the store. So, looking forward to that.
That's dope.
More money in the bank, man.
Right.
We're trying to execute,
Passive execution right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing, bro. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Absolutely. I think that's the gist of what's going on with me right now.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's a lot.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot happening. It's a lot, but it's not enough, bro, because we're not making $20K a week yet. So it's a lot more. It's a lot more to do, man.
You mean at the Amazon store?
No, just
in life.
In life,
Yeah,
you want $1 million? $1 million is $20K a week, $3,000 a day.
Yeah.
You're not making $3,000 a day. You need to do better tomorrow.
Right.
And it's really that simple. People say, I want to be a millionaire, I want $1 million. Like, that's what it takes. That's it right there. You say you want it. What have you done today
That's
to
real.
get closer to it?
What do you feel like
Is that something?
the key is for you right now?
I have several different plays going on right now, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they're more so by chance. It's not systemic. It's not streamlined. Everything. So if all of those hit streamlined, then yeah, we can start seeing 3,000 a day. We can start seeing 20K a week, and we could be $1 million liquid. You know, and that's just the beginning. You know, I'm trying to be 30 M's, 40 M's.
Right.
You know,
Right.
100.
Right.
You know, but like the minimum. But you know, stuff like that the ball gotta get rolling.
Right. Straight execution.
And like Myron says, you know, wealth loves speed. There's not enough urgency that we're going. I mean, we're blessed to be able to be comfortable, you know, and your comfort zone is detrimental.
It's a problem.
It's detrimental because why go for 20K a week when you getting your nice check, you pay your rent, you can go to brunch, you know, you can get fresh, you take a trip. What's the point?
Right.
You know, what's the point of going harder? I don't have to go. I go hard tomorrow. That's the problem. So it's like us living as if tomorrow is promised. It's not really.